What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream from North Texas. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. It has been a last-minute assignment here to stream. I just can't get enough of this airplane. I'm actually headed to the airport tonight in about T-minus 5 hours for just a nice easy leg tonight in an Airbus. So I wasn't even going to stream today, but you know what? I said I just can't help myself. We need to do one more stream. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, so thank you for tuning in last minute here. Huge shout out to Jeremy Harvey for the epic intro music. We are on the Latin Americas tour. It is officially underway, and we are sitting where we left off from yesterday in Cancun, Mexico, in a lovely Volaris A320. Too bad it doesn't have the IE engines like they do in real life. But hey, we're going to improvise, adapt, and overcome. But the music is just absolute fire. Cannot wait to listen to that for continued streams as we go all over Central and South America for the next couple of weeks. So, Jeremy, awesome stuff, man. Thank you so much. This is going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are ready. I've gone to Guatemala City quite a few times actually in real life, and there is a lot about that airport that is unique and can be challenging, especially if you're not paying attention. So we're going to go over some real world techniques and some real world procedures for going into Guatemala City. It is a beautiful approach going in there. If you ever get to go in there at sunset or sunrise, it is just absolutely stunning. It's nestled away in the valleys and the mountains there. So I hope you guys are ready to get going. I have let's see, our departure time is off block is 25, so we've shortened it just a little bit because we want to get this airplane up and running. So we're going to skip the shout outs today, but I just wanted to say a thank you to everyone who is here in chat joining me for leg 2 of the Latin America tour. So we're going to go ahead. It's been amazing. I've been sitting here watching the weather change, and it was actually partly cloudy with some sun, and then this thunderstorm rolled overhead, or not even a thunderstorm, just this cloud rolled over the top, and it started raining, and it got gray. So it's going to be beautiful weather as we fly westbound. There's actually a hurricane off the coast, but hopefully that's not going to have any issues. That's not going to present any issues for us. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing started right now. We're going to fade it out. Venezuela in the near future, Breadmaster, perhaps. We're going to be going all over South America for the next foreseeable future. So I've got a lot of good airports planned. Some airports we've already flown into, some airports that we haven't flown into, but I think you guys are going to enjoy it nevertheless. So first and foremost, let's hop into the cockpit here. We got everything looking awesome here. I'm going to turn up the sounds a little bit. We are cold and dark. Let's go ahead and get this puppy fired up. Fired up. 25.6 volts or greater. That is good. Battery 1 and battery 2 come online. We're going to go right into the external power. Listen to this old airplane fire up, man. The old gyros are spinning up. I don't think you get that depending on how your equipment is set up. I'm pretty sure that high-pitch hum is the gyros spinning up, and it's only when you have your configuration set like this here, but just love it. Absolutely love it. We'll get the GPU on. Everything's going to come to life. You should be good on the hurricane front. Good. Yeah, I saw it was out there west of the airport, or west of the coast, so I think we're going to be totally fine. Have you seen Top Gun Maverick yet? No, I have not. Don't tell me anything. I can't wait to go see it. I'm probably going to see it this week. Tony 2 times saw it yesterday with a fiance. It makes me want to get into DCS. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it's going to bring a lot of people into the DCS game, but I have not seen it yet. I will see it here soon enough. I can't wait to take a look at that. Oh, it's up in Mexico already? Cool. Good deal. One other thing I wanted to change is our failures. We have them on high. We're actually going to set them on realistic, and we're going to store that as default. So we're going back to realistic failures. That's totally good. Aircraft status, and that looks good. Initialization. We're going to set this up here. We're going to go straight to the McDo first. So we're going to right into ATSU and AOC. We're going to initialize this, and then we're going to start with our flows. So we're going to go ahead and pull this. That's going to do its thing. All right, so up the overhead we go. Crew supply oxygen is on. Ground control is on. CVR test. CVR test is good. Going up the overhead here. This is going to the captain position. 1, 2, and 3. We'll wait for the single on bat light. I'm going to put this into status and position 1 so we can see the alignment. I thought you'd have a hard time watching aviation movies because you're a real pilot. Nah, Jeremy, I like watching aviation movies, man. Some of them make me cringe. Some do, no lie. Some will make me cringe, but I can appreciate a good movie, and I've heard nothing but good things from Top Gun Maverick. So, all right, fire test. Number 2. And up the right-hand side, everything looks good there. Let's go down to the center pedestal. We don't need you. Hydraulics looks good. Pressurization is an auto. And where is the oil? There it is, 20.2 and 19.6. That is good. Everything else looks good. We need to be on 122.8 for Unicam. 22.8 is set. We're squawking 2,000. Get this out of the way. Everything looks good. All right, let's go ahead and go to ground services. Just ordered the TCA Boeing yoke. Super excited. I think it'll be awesome to fly JSIM 72. Rusty C. Indeed. I'm itching to get back on that yoke too. So I will probably be going to the 7.3 here pretty soon. We might do some X-Plane stuff because I do have some scenery in Colombia, which would be pretty fun to take the TCA Boeing yoke back in there. But indeed, man, you're going to absolutely love it, Rusty. Thanks for stopping by the channel, man. Welcome aboard. All right, 106 light load. Let's go ahead and load the aircraft real time. 18 minutes is set. They are loading with fuel. We got 14.6 required. Fueler is here. That looks good. Align in 6 minutes. Let's go to the initialization. Let's go ahead and pull it from the ACARS now. Top Gun 2 is much better than before. You will absolutely love it. All right, man. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. We are Volaris 357 for the flight number. Jeremy Matthews, welcome to Commercial Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on aboard the channel. Exclamation point, welcome for you perks here. I'm just finishing up, I feel like I say this every stream, but I'm finishing up the next podcast for the members only. Should be out this week. And if you're a Discord user, make sure you sync your Discord to the YouTube account that you use. That way you can get access to the V1 After Dark section of the Discord, and hopefully a shorts video. I'm going to be making a shorts video here for my trip coming up tonight, so I know you members like seeing all that stuff. But glad to have you on board, man. Welcome to Team Green. All right, we're filed at 380. We're doing Costinix 99 on the Cozumel 1 Alpha. So just like in real life, you always have to put in your runway and the departure, even when you ACARS your flight plan over. So we're on the Cozumel 1 Alpha. We'll go ahead and insert that out to Cozumel, and then we pick up it is Cozumel, right? CZM, beautiful airway all the way across, and this drops us right into Aurora. And ironically enough, we're not even going to use the star. Sometimes you use a star, sometimes they don't, but the transition is over the Aurora VOR. We're going to do the ILS. Nope, not a red eye, Shaq. Not a red eye, man. We're just one and done. But here's the thing: I'm going to intentionally get on a red eye flight tonight to come back home so I could be home tomorrow by 5 a.m., get a couple hours of sleep, and then we're going to have the rest of the day off for Memorial Day. But yeah, I don't do a red-eye flight, but I am going to willfully put myself on a red-eye after I get in and then fly back to Dallas, and I should be in at 5 a.m. So I'm going to be up for like 30 hours, which should be fun. And look, I still want to fly the Airbus here, so that tells you how good this airplane is. ILS Zulu is the last approach that I flew into there. We're going to do the ILS Zulu 02, no star, but our approach via is going to be from Aurora VOR. We're going to talk about that on the way over there. There's some things we need to take into account for flying this approach, so we're definitely going to look at that. That's how we're going to load up the box. That's how I flew it in real life most recently. So right off the Aurora VOR, beautiful. Let's do a quick secondary initialization. We're going to go MMUN to MMUN in case we pop one. We're going to come right back around. That is set. Secondary arrival. ILS DME 412 left is right there. Boom. Secondary perf. Next. And the winds was 0 mount. Temperature off the ECAM is 25. And the altimeter, if I hit B and look up, is it 29904? It is indeed 29904. 29.904 is set. Barrel, I'm not going to look it up right now. We're just going to put 200 in the radio. That is good. RadNav. We might put something in the RadNav. We'll come back to that. Let's just put MMUN here. And then our perf. Next. Next. That all looks good. Init B page. There we go. We're waiting on fuel, and that looks good. So we're going to go ahead and put that on. Put that on. Let's go ahead and uncage the standby attitude. Check this out. If you've ever done this in real life, this is exactly what it looks like. You can even hear the ticking in there. Anyone else having problems with the sim? I have not yet, knock on wood. Iron Man, celebrating your 4-month membership. Thank you so much for your continued support, sir. He says, good afternoon, Captain. Glad to catch a stream. Iron Man, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate this last-minute stream here, guys. I mean, it's typically when I do last-minute stuff, the viewership is down and the participation is not all that good, but I just can't get enough of this Fenix 320. So I thank each and every one of you who are available and tuned in, dropping a comment, dropping a like. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your support, man. Tony, 2 times, it is 100% worth the investment. You will love it. I cannot say enough good things about DCS. The only thing bad about DCS is it takes away time from flying the Fenix 320. But if you go down the rabbit hole for investment, we got a lot of DCS guys in the Discord. I actually flew a lot of DCS before I even made the transition to X-Plane.
Delta 5020 lined up and taking off 1 to the right and then 1 out.
Ooh, we got Delta taking off. Let's watch them. We've got our fancy camera, so I'm going to go into external view here. We'll watch him. We'll go free camera, and we'll dial up the speed. Let's watch this Delta take off because we're pretty much done with our setup. We're waiting for fuel and boarding, and we'll get the APU fired up. But let's look at some AIG traffic, shall we, on our way out of here? I wonder where this guy's headed. Are there good payware aircraft, Tony? 2 times. The payware aircraft, the worst payware aircraft is probably the quality of the PMDG. I mean, it is, the airplanes are very, very good. Very good. All of them, the payware ones. There's even some good free mods, but, I mean, you look at the F-18, F-16, fantastic. My favorite is the F-14. I do love the Viper, though. All right, let's watch this Delta get out of here. Jeremy, I would be unbelievably excited if Phoenix released a 19 and a 21. I would absolutely love that. Chaos, you're right. Maybe it will unload my ground support. I wonder if that's what happened. I'm going to get back to my airplane. Did we unload? Is that what causes it? Yep, you're absolutely right. Okay. I found the bug. It just unloaded my airplane. Since when is that a thing? All right, we'll watch Delta since he already just cost us our departure time. Man, is he ever going to rotate? Or is he just going to go straight off the end? There he goes. Wow. Okay, so apparently that gets rid of your airplane? All right, let's go ahead and see, oh, the jet bridge comes off. What on earth? All right, so the jet bridge is coming back on. Oh no. It gets out of sync here. All right, so we've isolated a problem with this. Is the jet bridge coming? No. No, it's not still loading. Look at the mass and balance. It loaded everything except the passengers. Why? Open door. Toggle jetway. Alright, jet bridge is coming back. I don't think it's going to load the passengers. 106 of 57. Okay, that's weird. Let's go ahead and get the APU fired up, though. We do have our fuel on board, correct? We do. 14.6 is on the fuel. We'll do a quick balance check. It is balanced. That is good. So let's go up to the overhead. Let's get our fuel pumps on. We'll fire this up, get the seatbelt sign on, leave the other half of passengers. You guys are savages. Okay, so using drone cam is dumb, apparently. If anything else, you can set it in the menu. Thank you, Gruden. I might have to do that. That is a weird bug. I don't even know if it's a bug. It's just it's a weird thing. You saw it go from 54 to 55? All right, let me see. We'll check it up on it here in a second. Who needs passengers anyway? Man, I wish I could do that in real life sometimes. No lie. No lie, man. Oh, I listen to that APU firing up. You're going to cause my card some trouble and make me purchase this Airbus. Rams fan. Wait a second. You have not purchased this Airbus yet, Rams fan? Oh, man, you need to purchase it. Oh, yeah, it is boarding. All right, everything's boarding. We're good to go. That's good. We have a prelim. Let's go back here to our McDo, ATSU, AOC, receive messages, load sheet. We'll accept it because there's really no other option to decline it. We do have the fuel in tanks, but that's prelim. We don't care about it. Let's go back to our NIT-B page. We'll keep that over there. Rams fan, yeah, you need to pick this airplane up, man. Absolutely need to pick this airplane up. All right, so we're going to keep the... You know what? Let's just go ahead and unload the GPU. So look at this. We got 100 and 350 on an unloaded APU. We're going to load the APU now with the power. And look at the EGT increase because we're putting load on the APU. Very nice. Jeremy, you're a Honeywell fan on the APU? Yes, sir. Look at that EGT increase as it's loading up. Awesome. I've tried running the battery 1 and 2 while only the APU is connected and put the aircraft in cold and dark state. Really, Harold? Are you sure the APU was actually on? Oh, wait, while only the APU. Well, only if the APU is connected. Yeah, you have to do it in GPU. You got to have a GPU connected, Harold, to do a battery test. Got to have the GPU connected. All right. We don't have ATC, I don't believe. No, we do not. Good. So let's go ahead and look at our SimBrief Navigraph plan here. Even the passenger stopped boarding because there was no jetway. I know. It is. This airplane is stupid fun, man. I'm excited. Is this going to be my first flight since the Phoenix release tonight? I can't even remember. It might be. So I'm going to have to see which is more fun, flying the real world Airbus or flying the Phoenix. I'll post a shorts video tonight for all my members. I'll let you know what's more fun. All right, but yeah, we're going to just taxi out 12 right via Charlie, Charlie 9er. Perfect. As far as departures, oops. The departure section off of 12 right. Are we on an RNAV today? Let me see. We are on the Cozumel 1 Alpha for 12 right. I believe that's a non-RNAV. No, it is an RNAV. Cozumel 1 Alpha. We're going out to Ugdove, right? Basically a climbing right turn, max 230 in the turn, no other restrictions. That's simple enough. We can take care of that. So let's just go ahead and go back. Let's just get out of this page here. Let's just go straight to the perf page, start getting ready for takeoff. We'll do a prelim load sheet. We'll do a live weather sync. We'll just see what it says here. I'm expecting probably a flaps 1. Oh, this is with no toga. Let me change that. Optimum force toga, yes. Anti-ice off, packs on. And we'll do another calculation. You're headed over to Fort Lickerdale tonight? No, Iron Man, I am not. Oh, am I? No, I am not. I'm actually headed the opposite direction. All right, so 12 left. That looks just fine. We're doing a flap 1. We're going to be pretty lightly loaded. All right, 106 of 91. It's been 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and get the APU on. Let's see if we can hear any air come into the cabin. JFC, you were based there flying the 320? Nice, man, with Taka? How many failures are we having today? Pilot boy, I do not know. We have it on realistic time and all failures. So it is possible one will happen, but we are going to hope that it doesn't. Victor or Vitor, yes, this is South America Tour Leg 1 of 1. The first leg we did yesterday was, or 2 days ago, was kind of like the prelim. Flew from Lauderdale down to Cancun. Now we're actually going into the heart of Central America now to Guatemala City. CPU is up and running full bore. We are almost done with that. So you can see now the N1 is down to 99%. That's cool. GPU is offline, so we'll go ahead and disconnect ground power. And at that point, we're probably going to start closing up cargo doors as well. So we'll go ahead and cockpit ground, you're good to disconnect ground air and ground power. We'll go ahead and start closing the doors as well. You can hear it. Al W, what's up, man? Welcome. Late start watching on a widescreen and having a roasted tamales. Excellent, Al. Excellent. Hope you're enjoying your Memorial Day weekend. So this is kind of like my replay view, so we don't look at the spoilers. This is traditional. There's our trailing wing. Chris Duper says, by the way, I know it's early. Don't arm the speed brakes before replay so the spoilers don't stay up the whole time. Really, Chris? Okay, so don't arm the speed brakes before replay. Good to know, Chris. I will keep that in mind, my friend. Thank you. All right, I guess we can put our fuel in there at 14.6. There's block fuel. And are we done with boarding? Come on, we need to close. We need to close. That's how I would be right now. But let's close the door. It's taking so long. 102 of 106. Almost done. We'll go ahead and reset this clock over here as well. All right, as far as the departure brief, I'll have terrain up on my side, mountainous terrain to the south and west of us. Shouldn't be too much of a concern. However, we don't have any ATC, so we're going to set our top altitude. Flight level 380 is set. 2994 is in the box. Emergencies previously briefed. Right-hand turnout, speed restriction at 230 knots. Shouldn't be a problem. No questions? No questions. Before start, check alignment, maintenance log, tail number on board, and check cockpit prep complete. Let's see. Fuel, we've got 14, required 14.6 on board. And that's basically to the line. That's all we can do. We'll put this in auto. We're squawking 2,000. That's good for right now. Ooh, let's see. We got coffee delivery in 2 minutes. So we might have to hold the push. Boarding is complete. Dismiss. Captain, are you good to close? Yes, we are good to close. We'll go ahead and door will close. You hear that? Donk. Get the jetway out of here. We'll go ahead and connect the tug. Jetway's pulling up. Let's go ahead and get our initial, or I'm sorry, our final loads, which are 119.0 and 28.9. 119.0 and 28.9 is the real zero fuel weight. When are you applying to Top Gun school? 22 times. Thank you for the $5 super chat, sir. Oh man, I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe after I see the second Top Gun, I might put in my application. Thank you for your support, man. Alex, welcome to Private Pilot, sir. Exclamation point, welcome for your perks here on the channel. Glad to have you on board. Always love seeing the new members. You guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you. All right, we're doing a flaps 1 no flex. Let's do a final load sheet sync for perf. Sync final and send it. Coordinating with my coffee delivery. Stand by. Because I'm going to need a little bit of coffee to get us through this flight. All right, 16, 35, 35. 116, 135, 135. Flaps 1. No Toga. He's connecting. I'm going to run out. Give me 30 seconds. I'm going to pick up my coffee, and we'll be right back here. I'll put you in the passenger view as we stand by for departure. All right, we are back. We are ready. Are we good to push? Windows, doors, and slides. Should have armed them. Put this on for VATSIM. All right, before start check, let's blow line. Windows, doors, slides, closing arm. Beacon on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake is off. Before start checklist is complete. Cockpit to ground. Cockpit to ground. Go ahead, Captain. Hey, brakes released. Clear to push straight back. Roger, commencing pushback. We off at 1:11. Beautiful. 10 early, just the way I like it. 10 early. I hope we can push 10 early tonight. If you need coffee to get through this flight, how many will you need later, Christian? Probably 6 or 7. Probably 6 or 7. Captain Olike, I just saw your comment. The plaque for the Airbus is down by the ladies' room. Oh, man. That's too funny. That's too funny. Let me go tail. I always forget. Is it this way? Nope. Damn it. That way. I love this This Mako Sim, I think I'm saying it right. These guys did an outstanding job on this Cancun. We're going to do, I feel like I do a lot of streams in here. We're going to continue to do a lot of streams in here because I just love this scenery too. In fact, I was just talking to the wife. I think we're going to do a little vacation down to Cancun this next month, just for a day or two. All right, pushback complete, set brakes. Brakes are set. This is Volaris, so go ahead and clear disconnect. I know we need yellow pressure. Copy that. Brakes are disconnected, clear to start engines. Here we go. Probably should have turned the yellow electric pump on, but we're good to go. We got bleed pressure, turn in 1. Enjoy the startup sounds. As much as you can, because they're quiet. I mean, the sounds are good. I can hear what's happening, but they need to turn up the volume about 40%. I mean, they're just so quiet, but the sounds they seem like they're quality, just can't hear them. Benny, I read your comment, a left side stick air. That is a new one. I do not know what would be causing that unless you have a failure. We're turning 2. Make sure you don't have any failures, Benny. Other than that, you may be a conflicting binding of a side stick. In real life, that's a no-go item. Did you get Sierra Sim for Guatemala? Yes. Yes, I did, Christian. And I like it. I think it's worth it. It's like, what, 13 bucks, 14 bucks? Is it perfect? No, but it does add some of those really tall buildings there, and just it makes it look much better, in my opinion. The default's decent, but it's good. Steven, exactly. It just whispers in your ear. Alex, I don't know if there's a file we could tweak. You know, it might be a realistic volume level depending on how new the airplane is and how the padding that's in there. But for simmers, you know, we talked about this. Sometimes you need to have something a little bit more than realistic to make it to capture you, right? So like we can't feel the airplane moving at 1 mile an hour because we don't have that actual feeling in our seats. But to compensate for that inertia, we could use sound, which is what I wish they would have done there. But fuel intake's 14.6. That's what we got. We accept our final. Let's just make sure everything else is set. Perf data is set. That's on my side because I'm flying. FO's on the flight plan page. That's good. 380. Let's do an after start checklist. Let's bring up the tiller cam. We're going ignition switch to ignition start. We're going to arm the spoid brakes. And I said what? Flaps 1. Let's go ahead and watch flaps 1 come out. Christian, I think it's worth it, especially if you're going to do some flying in there. I'm probably gonna do a couple more flights into there just because it's pretty good. All right, APU can come offline. Let's just do our checks here at the gate since we got a short taxi out. Here we go, ready for flight controls. What did I say? We're like 0.1 down. What was our trim? Oh, 0.1 up. All right, let's do our flight control check. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. I wish I could get that disconnect bind working, but all right, flight controls are checked. Are you guys ready? Let's go. Cancun traffic, Volaris 357, taxi channel 12 right via Charlie, Cancun. Brakes released. Taxi light is on. Enjoy the non-drive-by cam. Man, that outside sound is so loud. That's the other thing we need is volume sliders. Disable pedal disconnect option EFB. I've done it, guys. I've done it a million times. I've done it every which way. You can disconnect it in the EFB, but the rudder still turns the nose wheel with the button down. So, I mean, I know it semi-works, but it does not work according to how the real aircraft works. At least I have not been able to bind it that way. I've tried both options. All right, we're out of here. Let's do a quick brake check. Pressure 0. Look at that. The rain has stopped. I mean, I don't know if this is exactly what's happening in Cancun right now, and I doubt it. But still, this is exactly what Cancun weather is like. You know, late summer, early summer, I should say. You get these rolling low clouds in here. Some drop a little rain. Yeah, the option in the EFB is so you can have a tiller working. Oh, if you only have one axis? Right. So, like, look. So if I do this, and I go like this, the nose, see how the nose of the airplane still turns? That's not correct. It's not correct. Victor says, I hope you visit my city, Sao Paulo. Oh, yes, we will. We will absolutely visit Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo, probably destroyed that, but absolutely, man. Christian, while you're in chat, didn't we find the binding for the auto thrust instinctive disconnect? I think I didn't bind that one yet. This scenery, I can't say enough good things about this scenery. A little bit of sand out there. Captain Dennis, what's going on, man? Welcome. I hope your stream is going good. Just hopped here from watching Captain Canada, currently in cruise. Good deal, Captain Dennis. Thanks for stopping by, man. Hawks, what's going on, man? It says, hey, Captain, love your guest spot on the Blue Experience. That was a blast. Let's do. Hope all is well, and you're having a blast with this plane. Hawks, I'm having so much fun with this plane that out of nowhere, I decided I'm going to fly today on the Fenix, or with the Fenix, before I go fly a real Airbus, because I'm having that much fun with this airplane. So, and I'll be sure to post a shorts video tonight if I can get one out about which is more fun, either the Fenix or the real airplane. But I don't know. There's something about this airplane, and I think it has a lot to do with the entire experience you get when you fly in Microsoft with the complete aircraft. You know, it's not just the Fenix, it's the Fenix in Microsoft with the lighting, with the visuals, with the complexity of the airplane. Everything comes together, and it just is such an enjoyable experience for me. I am nowhere near tired of it yet. Thanks for stopping by, Hawks. All right, let's go ahead and slow down. Oh yeah, see we're at like 20 knots there. In real life, I'd be making this turn at less than 10 knots. That's just one of those things. I either need a butt kicker or a full motion sim so I can feel the speed. All right, I don't think anybody is on final. Let's do a cheat view. Nope. Cancun traffic, Volaris 357, going to be departing 12 right, Cancun. Alright, nobody is there. Let's go ahead and get on to 12 right. That's going to go on. These are coming on. That's on. That's on. Strobe is on. And we never did the FO. Phantom is slacking over there. There we go. Let's go. Are y'all ready to go to Guatemala? Chris Super, it is not yet. It is not yet. But I emphasize the word yet. If you land the Phoenix in a crosswind, does it veer off the runway uncontrollably? No, not yet. But I've seen guys have issues with that, but I have not personally experienced that. Get 100 likes for takeoff. Let's get 100 likes for a full Toga in here. We are set. Runway heading is 125. That checks. I'm getting ready to go full yoga. I think we'll do it from this side this time. You guys ready? Yoga's in chat. Nose forward on the stick. Spool them up 50. Here we go. Yoga. Never gets old. Mantoga SRS runway auto thrust is blue. Thrust set. 100 knots. Check. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Remember, keep that back pressure. Don't let that nose come down. There you go. Let that blend complete. Now we're in flyby mode. Hold that. Almost at S speed already. We are light today. Go ahead and lower that nose. There we go. Now let's walk it back. Thrust, climb, climb, auto thrust. We do have a positive trend. Flap 0. Here comes the turn to the right. Nothing to see, so we'll just fly the airplane. Whoa. It's some kind of wind shift there or something. That was interesting. Let's go ahead and get back on the command bars. Nice easy inputs on the stick. There's speed out star. We have 1,000 to level off. We do have a constraint here, so we're going to get that nose down. Follow the command bar. You don't want to blow through it. Nice breakout. Hear that thrust walking back. 250 below 10, leveling 5,000 for speed alt constraint star. Oh, look at the views for that. Look at that view right there. Love it, love it, love it. Leveling 5,000. I'm gonna go autopilot 1 here just momentarily so we can enjoy some of these breakout views in the wing view here. Yep, I do have detents on the throttle. Exclamation point throttle brings you all the info you need. Oh man, I love just cruising right through these scattered layers here. Let me just double check that our temperature is, yeah, we're plus 27. We don't need terrain on ND. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. We got to stay below 5 all the way out here for this transition. Should have disarmed the speed brakes there after gear up. That's my bad. I don't know why I keep forgetting to do that. I think that's twice now. I forgot to do that on stream. Let's see what happens when we get another breakout here. Is a 330 type the same as the 320? No, it is not. nice sandy beaches down there. Man, that's where I need to go for vacation. That's a good view. I'm going to save that. Oh, I just saved the wrong view. Son of a gun. Wrong engine. Look at that, though. How awesome is that? Makes me want to go on vacation right now. This livery, I believe, has a custom cabin. Yeah, we'll take a look at that up in cruise. Don't worry, we're going to take a look at that up in cruise. Oh, listen to this. There's our at or above restriction, or at or below, so now we're climbing up. Gotta love it. There's a breakout. Awesome. With you, Berto. What's going on, man? Good to see you on the stream. Welcome aboard, sir. I mean, if you don't hit the like button for that, you just don't like aviation. I mean, that's about as good as it gets right there. Is this real or fake? I know. As a real pilot, how do you rate this plane for realism? I'll put it this way: it's the most realistic 320 I've flown in the sim. That's not an actual sim. Look at the water effects. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look at the water streak, and we're going through a little bit of precip here. These low, dense clouds here with some rain. Oh my gosh. You need to go to Puerto Vallarta again? Yeah, I'm thinking about that too. We're going to do a little, the wife and I are going to do a little vacation here. I don't know where we're going to go. I'm thinking Cancun just because I've flown in there working so many times. I want to just go in there for fun. And now we're going to level here. I can see the airplane's leveling. But we probably need to, yeah, we're already out of 10,000, so let's go ahead and get these lights in, or else it's going to get real loud. Go ahead and hit the forward flight attendant call button to let them know we're clear of that. I'm just going to let it level at 11,000 because I want to hear the engines spool up again when we go through this constraint here. So we're going to let them spool up here. They should spool down momentarily because we're about to hit the speed limit. We'll see if we can watch the AOA change on the wing here. Alex, no worries, 12 will have great beach waves. Oh my gosh, Alex, I know. A little bit of something going on. I think they're spooling back. Yeah, they're coming back. Listen to them come back. This is cool. I've never just watched the whole climb out happen like this. They're gonna spool up here soon. And the beacon reflecting off the engine. That's awesome. So in real life here, I'd be requesting an open climb or just a request higher, because sitting around at 11,000 in the summertime in South America, even in the U.S., you just get bumped around these low-level buildups. Look at that runway down there. I don't even know where that is. Here we go. Spooling up. Look at that wing flexing out there, just barely. Awesome wing flex. Let me see if I can go up front here a little bit more, since I kind of dang it. I'm out here in front of the engine a little bit. I like this one better. Alright, let's go ahead and do some actual flying stuff. Let's make sure everything is good. We'll go back into live cam. There's our full breakout. I'm going to lower this a little bit. How are we doing up here? We're at 340 knots. We're climbing up to 380. We'll zoom that out, make sure everything else looks good. I'm going to go back to flight plan page. We're going to go secondary, copy active. That is done. Cabin is pressurizing. It's still plus 24 on the OAT, so we don't have to worry about any icing conditions. That is awesome. 29094 is still set. We're going all the way up to the transition altitude today of 17, or is it 18.5? I believe it's 18.5 coming out of here. Nice breakout right there. This livery is on the Flight Sim TO. Volaris on the Flight Sim TO with the cabin tour. So we'll do the cabin tour as soon as we get to the top of climb. And we'll have enough time for a cabin tour. And then we got to start looking at actual approach charts because there's some things we want to take into account. Some additional techniques and procedures for going into Guatemala. Right now, I'm just going to put this on the VFR map, I guess. There we go. That's where we are. So, Cancun, headed over to Guatemala City. Somebody mentioned Cabo San Lucas. Yeah, I almost did. I was trying to figure out how to make Cabo work. Cabo is an airport of mine that sounds weird, but it is. I do have a nice memory going into Cabo. In fact, it was one of my first trips out of training as an Airbus captain. That was I went into Cabo, so I do have a connection with Cabo San Lucas. Let's go ahead and pull this up so we can see where we're not crossing any water, right? No, that's good. Airport, we'll just keep that up just in case. Everything else looks good there. Altimeters are going to set standard right about now. We'll go ahead and set 1. Set 2 and set 3. 3 set. We don't need all these integral lights. Let's go ahead and turn them off. We'll save a little light bulbs here. What is some ways to prevent crosswind blowing my airplane off the runway uncontrollably? Would switching to headwind before joining final the only way? Captain Beluga, that is something I do not have a problem with. Make sure you have a proper rudders control upon touchdown. Now, I do know that I think it's a Microsoft thing where when you touch down, the sim doesn't know when to make the rudder less effective and to make the nose gear more effective. I think that's a sim problem. Excuse me. But I have not run into an instance where it's been uncontrollable. So the best advice I can give you is to make sure you've got proper settings, you're using the proper rudder control upon touchdown. Which one's more realistic, PMDG or Phoenix? Oh man, I don't know. I'm not a Boeing driver, so I can't answer that. How do you choose when to open climber to manage it? You do all caps again, you probably get banned. But I'll answer your question because I'm in a good mood today. Open climb is not going to obey any restrictions on a departure procedure. Managed climb is going to follow any type of vertical restrictions. And the same can be said for descent. If you're on a descent on an arrival and there's vertical constraints, you want to make sure you are in a managed descent or you push the button forward. It will honor those constraints. If you are not in managed, the airplane is going to do exactly what it says. Open climb. It's just going to go for whatever speed you've got, and it's going to give you max thrust or climb thrust, and it's going to climb at whatever it can give you. And it doesn't care about any constraints or any restrictions. So most commonly above 10,000 feet, at least in the US anyway, above 10,000, there's not too many departures that have restrictions above 10. There are some, but not many. And that's, above 10,000, I'll just go ahead and pull for open climb, and we'll just keep on climbing out as best we can. Al, that sound is pulsing, and it comes from the sim, and basically that's an unsync. I think it's a little over-dramatized. So if you look at the N2s here, depending on the jets, you used to have N1 syncs and N2 syncs, but these are perfectly synced, so you should not be getting that wom, 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 wom sound. I think it's just a little bit of a repeat going on in their sound file. I think it's a little over-dramatized, but it's not just you, Al. I hear it too. And it almost seems a little bit too bassy. I wish they could have toned down the cruise sounds and turned up the engine startup sounds. Steven, I agree. Boarding in the PMDG without a proper EFP does make it a little bit more annoying. You got to kind of fiddle around with the EF or with the McDo. But my best solution to that, you know, put one FMS for your ground ops and just leave the other FMS for your flight. You know, but I can see where you're coming from. Elena Zane, quick question. Do you normally do a quick line or full align on turnarounds? Or do you align at all? Elena Zane, so whenever a full alignment is not required, we'll do a quick align. So depending on the GPS IR drift, it's greater than 5, we'll do a quick align. Anytime there is a crew change or a plane swap, you do a full alignment. So on a turnaround, I'll take a look at the GPS positions. So quick way we'll do it, we'll just go position monitor, and I take a look at my drift. Like 0.3, this does not require, like say we just landed in Guatemala and we were going to turn around, this would not require a quick align. Now, are you going to hurt the airplane by doing a quick align? Absolutely not. So I tend to do more alignments than required, but remember, the requirement is just a bare minimum. You know, you're not going to hurt the airplane if you do an additional alignment, especially, you know, maybe you're at like 0.4 or you're at 4 or 3 or whatever, you're getting close, and you're going to do a 3-hour flight after you just got in. Yeah, I'll do a quick alignment, and even honestly, if it's at that point, I might even just do a full alignment. So, if I'm doing a flight over 3 hours, I'm probably going to do a full alignment if it's even close to being needed. Paul, you took the Fenix into SKPS. I know that airport. What is it? I know it. It's I feel like I know the airport. Norino, duh. One of my favorites. Yes. You had a fun... Oh, man. Paul, I cannot wait. We're going to be flying into Antonio Norino as well along this tour. I cannot wait to hit Colombia. Colombia is I've got some familiarity with. As we go further south, I'm going to get less and less familiar. Then when we go up the eastern side, it's going to be very unfamiliar to me. So I can't wait, though. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Can we get a shout out to Q8 Pilot? I won this plane yesterday in his live stream, and he paid out of pocket. Awesome stuff. Steve, absolutely. Q8 Pilot, guys, if you haven't heard of him, you need to check him out, look him up. He's actually the reason I even came to X-Plane 11 back in the day. Does fantastic video tutorials, fantastic reviews. I think I've bought more airplanes off of Q8 Pilot review videos than anything else. I'm just like, oh man, he's reviewing it, and he says, oh yeah, Q8 Pilot approval seal, or Q8 seal of approval rather, and just pick it up, buy it, and I've never been disappointed. So he also does live streams as well. I tune into those. So absolutely, Steve, you guys haven't, look up Q8 Pilot, stop by, say hi, leave a comment. But I love Q8. He's a fantastic human being as well as content creator. How far south are you planning to go? I'm going to go as far south as we got good airports to go into. I know for a fact, at least on the western side of the continent, we're going to be going down to Lima, but I want to continue to go south. But I don't just want to go south if there's not really anything cool there, you know, not to be mean, but like I want to see some different approaches, you know, maybe some challenging approaches, or even just beautiful scenery. If there's some beautiful scenery down there, we'll hit it up. So I'll be looking at the map shortly here in the Discord. I will put a separate channel for the Latin America tour, and if you guys have a route request or an airport request, that will be the place to put it. I will make sure I announce that. I'll probably get that set up this week, hopefully before the next stream. But the next stream will be on Tuesday. We are going to go, I think we're doing 2 legs, and I think we're going to go to Cancun, and then I think we're going to go to Costa Rica, depending on how it goes. I think we're going to be doing 2 legs on Tuesday. Going to be an epic stream. I'm going to try to get that thumbnail out and get it scheduled before I go to work tonight. So, if you can make the distance in Patagonia is a sure must. Oh, I'll have to take a look at that. Do I think Microsoft will add expansions that DCS players will make the switch? No. Visuals are night and day. No, I don't think so. I think DCS players are sticking to DCS, and pretty much DCS players laugh at Microsoft and Civilian Sims. They are very proud of their simulator, and the simulator in DCS is one of the best, if not the best sim out there as far as a platform. The weather generation, the clouds, still has better clouds. You guys think these clouds look good? Digital Combat Simulator has better clouds. Now, the maps aren't ortho. They're not ortho photo, but they're still very, very high quality. And the flight dynamics is unrivaled in DCS. Whether you're flying a helicopter, whether you're flying a piston World War II bird, or you're flying a fighter jet that's got fly-by-wire, the dynamics and the fluid dynamics in DCS is far superior to any other civilian sim on the market. It's just the facts. You need to do Costa Rica Circuit of Land. Oh yeah. Oh, on the BAE, we might have to do. We're going to sprinkle in some BAE because I want to get that Boeing yoke back up and working too. All right. As soon as we reach top of climb, we'll do a cabin tour. That'll be perfect, and then we'll be at our ETP. We guys talked about our equal time points the other day. Ooh, look at this side. Oh, you know what? I messed up my engine views over here, so I got to make another view for this side. Okay, that's a pretty cool view right there, huh? I think we're going to save that one right there. Done. Look at that little reef out there. But yeah, you hear that bass, whoom, whoom, whoom. That's not super realistic. I'd probably lose my mind if I heard that. But back here, it's not that bad. Microsoft doesn't allow for weapons to be displayed, so they would never do something like that? Yeah. Now, Microsoft is a pure civilian sim. I think they need to just focus on that. Like, I know we're having a lot of fun with all this Top Gun stuff that's being released for whatever, but personally, for me, I could care less about military aircraft than Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I could care less about pushing content for it. I think it's a waste of time. Obviously, it's a money thing. Remember, this is Microsoft. They're going to just follow the dollar. Wherever the dollar goes to make more money, that's where that's what they're gonna do. So that's why you see the content that you see being pushed out, you know. But I would rather them be working on how about being able to change zoom levels of ortho for cruise depending on your machine specs, or being able to work on a native replay, or I don't know, getting the weather handed over so they can give that to developers, so developers can model weather radar, or I don't know, fixing live weather. A lot of people have issues with live weather. How about fixing of the servers where it keeps dropping offline all the time? You know, I'd rather see that than, oh, here, fly super low and fast in an F-18 that has absolutely nothing modeled and really does not resemble anything realistic at all. Fly by camera, exactly, rotor fib. Alex, we might have to do the BAE. You got me thinking. Either the BAE or the 7.3 on that circle. We might have to do a turnout. We might have to do 2 Costa Ricas. It's just so fun. That Cirrus visual is one of the funnest approaches I've flown. Fixing bugs would be a start, exactly. Tower view, yep. Anyone use the butt kicker in here? Looking at purchasing. There is a few people that use the butt kicker in my Discord as well. I've been thinking about buying one. Or the right-click control bug, Jeff L. Exactly. That is exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let's try to go outside here. So I know the sim seems awfully loud. I'm gonna turn that down. We're gonna try to do an outside view here. I'm just going to turn it off because it's so loud. And then what I will do is, we've got a little Latin America music. Whoa. I just want like 1 notch, not 5. Or a Starbucks add-on to visit you after you buttered another runway. E-Boss, nice, man. Man, these views though are just like Microsoft Flight Simulator should be focusing on Microsoft Flight Simulator things. You know, you didn't see all this stuff back in the day. I mean, well, to be fair, in FSX, what was it, Service Pack 2, the Acceleration Pack, they brought the F-18 out. So I guess, you know what, maybe I guess it's not out of reach. I guess they did do that back then even, so oh well. Yeah, they need to fix bugs instead of focusing on new content. I agree. Don't tell the missus you took Brooke for a flight. Oh, yeah. There could be some confusion there, indeed. Decent replay would be nice. The simple one is FS 2004, and FSX would be good. Yeah? The replay that I use, the FS recorder, it's not bad at all. You know, you can get what you need done. It seems to be working fine. And we did find out that if you do a shutdown, you can just do an aircraft state to active, and then you can use the replay and it'll work just fine. But yeah, I really wish Fenix would add some volume sliders as well, though. Just beautiful shot, though. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Christian. So, we're probably going to have to go to a subscriber-only model for live streams for the foreseeable future. In fact, for the next stream, that might happen. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. Not members only, just a subscriber only mode to help minimize trolling and bots. Not even trolling, it's just bots. You know, all these stupid bots that have been plaguing everybody. So probably start going to a subscriber only chat pretty soon. But I invite you to hit the subscribe button anyway, because if you like this content, like seeing airplanes, like seeing Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can unsubscribe at any time, and it's zero cost to you. So all the benefits, none of the negatives. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Kostas, watching the stream and doing QuickBooks. Nice. Thumbs up for the views. Excellent. Thank you, Kostas. All right, let's hop in and do a cabin tour, shall we? Let's do it. Harold Phoenix, welcome to a Private Pilot, sir. Thank you so much for your support, man. Exclamation point welcome for your new content or your new perks here on the channel. Glad to have you on board, my friend. Welcome, welcome. All right, I wanted to do this view up here, though, so I can't. There we go. It's better to do it this one. All right. And Vitor Menzes, welcome to Private Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on board as well. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Yeah, members only. Exclamation point welcome. You guys are awesome. All right, here we go. Let's go into the cabin, shall we? I don't know why my view keeps spinning around. Can I use my, This is weird. I'm trying to use a... keeps resetting it. Oh, well. But they have those nice, seat backs. This is a fun seat right here, middle seat, front of the bulkhead, and get to look at that all the flight. Alf Mags, thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Didn't see any comment with that, but thank you for that. Coming in right behind that is another $5 super chat from Niso Morami. Thank you for your support. Went on a star that has rest of flight level 210-13. How do you pick which altitude? Oh, okay, so if there's a window between 21 and 13. Niso, great question. Thank you for your support, man. I appreciate you. But the best way to do that, I mean, if you have it programmed already in your box, the airplane will calculate what altitude it needs to go through that window to meet the next restriction. So just leave it be. If you're in managed descent, it'll be totally fine. You don't have to pick a hard altitude. Now, I will give you a tip. If you are on an arrival, such as LAX or some other arrivals into Southern California where you get these two steep paths ahead and you have all these windows, sometimes what I do is I'll take that last window and make it a hard altitude at the lowest altitude. So in your example, let's say you had one that was like between 10 and 14,000. And that was the last fix on the arrival. I would set 10,000 and make it a hard altitude, not a window. That way the airplane will calculate a descent path to cross that one at 10, and it will keep you on the lower side of your geometric path all the way down. So that's the way I would do it. Thank you for your support. Hope that helps you. But yeah, if you have multiple star or multiple altitude windows like that, don't even worry about it. Just let the airplane do it. You don't have to pick one or the other. It will. All you have to do is be in that area, in that zone, and you're totally fine. Juan, welcome, sir. Looking forward to the Colombia part of the tour. As am I, Juan. As am I. Glad to have you on board, man. Welcome. Is the APU on? No, it is not on. The seatbelt sign is on, though. I should have turned that off. Let's go ahead and turn that off. And then we're going to start briefing. Seatbelt sign is off. Love these. The wing views. These wings. I don't know. I said the PMDG had the best wings I've seen modeled. I think this is better. These wings are the most realistic looking wings I've ever seen modeled. The textures, just the little groove there where the flaps are. You really get a three-dimensional feel on these wings when you're looking at them, you know? Is LAX slippery approach in real, or is it slippery approach in real life? Every time, Alex, every time. Especially in a 321 when they're telling you to slow down and go down at the same time. Every time, my friend. I'm Groot. What's up, V1? Finally get to see you live. Welcome, man. Just in time. Glad to have you on board, sir. Welcome to a live stream. Last minute live stream on a Sunday afternoon. I was sitting on the lawnmower today and listened to when you talked about the Boeing yoke. Now I have a box at home. You should be sponsored. Magnus, thank you so much for that. Yeah, that was a complete non-sponsored plug too. I've always told myself from the beginning of this channel, like, and I realized the power of the platform and the power of having a voice. And I said I was never going to just sell out and push stuff that I was told to push or whatever it be. You know, I said I'm going to be completely honest with either the hardware, the equipment that I use. If I find something that I really enjoy, I'm going to push it, whether or not I'm sponsored by it. So, and not necessarily push it, but I'm just going to give you my opinion on it. And yeah, the Boeing yoke, I said, is it's expensive, but it makes it so much more enjoyable. It really does. I think you're going to absolutely love it. I wrapped my handles just because I thought the plastic feeling was a little bit meh. But other than that, it's a solid product. Let's go all the way back here, shall we? Steven, three-dimensional is a good way to describe the Fenix. Exactly. There's nothing that feels flat or like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Just nothing feels flat or not realistic. Except that, what is that? That heat blur looks a little unrealistic. But it just feels alive and like it's a full-size airplane, you know? When Eldorm not armed? Or the slide lever not animated? It's not animated, Maddie. I saw that too. Shaq, what is the barbecue of choice in the V1 house? Shaq, that's a great question. I'm going to fire it up tomorrow. I'm doing some ribs. All right, so I was a purist for a very long time with barbecue. Purist to the point of where I even made some of my own charcoal at one point. I have been using for the longest time, I think it's an Oklahoma Joe's, but it's been highly modified. You know, I put in some vents, I put in some sealing to make it hold temperature better, because it's not one of those, you know, like $1,000 smokers that are really, really high quality, a thick gauge steel. It's one of the more mass-produced ones. But a couple of months ago, I made the plunge into the pellet grill world, and I picked up a Camp Chef. And I'll tell you what, my Camp Chef is putting in a lot of work, and it is honestly some of the best tasting food I've ever made in the Camp Chef. And it's so easy, the ease of use, I can't get away from it, man. Oh, we're gonna have to switch this one out. But yeah, I use a Camp Chef right now. I think it's a 24-inch. It's awesome, man. Fly with Rookie. What is up, man? Welcome to Commercial Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on board the channel. Exclamation point. Welcome. Fly with Rookie is the man, a legend of himself. He's got his own video channel with his full-size 737 cockpit. Awesome stuff, Fly with Rookie. Thanks for joining the channel, man. Glad to have you on board. Charcoal, not propane, for shame. Yeah. Got ribs going too? Very nice. Have you heard of seeing any content from Speed Tape Films? I have not heard of that at all. Paul, you be down for some cooking with V1? Oh yeah, we're gonna have it. We're gonna be going full bore cooking tomorrow, man. HEB brisket for the win. That's good. It's good brisket, Costas. Cosmo Q. Hey, Al, I use Cosmo Q quite a bit. SPG, baby. That's all you need. Magnus says I had to repair my honeycomb, have tight some things. When I opened the honeycomb, I realized the quality isn't the best. The screws weren't tight and the yoke didn't work. Well past a month. Yeah, Magnus, that's one thing I talked about when I was getting rid of my honeycomb, is that initially I thought the honeycomb felt like it was going to be a very, very long-lasting product because of how it felt on the outside. But coming to find out that people are having issues with not only their yokes, but with their throttles too. So it's unfortunate. It really is. But I will not be using their products for much longer, even the throttle, which that's a surprise. More to come on that later. Grilled salmon. Oh, Jeremy, we almost did. I think I'm going to do salmon this week. We might do it on, let's see, we might do it on Tuesday, actually. We might do salmon Tuesday. Cooking cam, Chris Stuper. Camp Chef, gonna have to check that one out, man. I want to try a true Texas brisket. Don't y'all just use a rub of some sort? Oh, Shaq, I can't be giving any secrets out on stream, man. Yeah, we got our own secrets out here in Texas. Everybody's got, every part of the country has their own, I guess, traditional method of cooking brisket or ribs or rubs. I kind of like to use a little bit of both. I use a little bit of KC style. I use a little bit of, what is it, like the Carolina barbecue with more vinegar. I use a little bit of that, little combination of that. And then some true Texas. Oh yeah, man, I love barbecuing. Bravo Throttle has what sort of problem? People have been reporting the wires breaking inside the thrust levers. And if you look, you can actually see where the wires are. And they're not really protected by anything. So using the throttle up and down, you eventually can pinch one and they can break. So I've heard of 3 people now separate with the same issues. So 3 separate people have had the same issues. I have not had an issue yet, knock on wood, but it's something to keep an eye on. Cosmo Q's Dirty Bird. Yep, I use Dirty Bird a lot on the chicken thighs. You think you're going to get some barbecue for dinner? Oh, man, I want some barbecue. I'm not. I'm actually going to be headed to your neck of the woods, Chris Stuper, here not too long from now. All right. Old Country Barbecue Pit offset, the real deal. Yeah, Scott. Old Country Barbecue Pit. Very nice. All right, we are 80 miles from top of descent. Let's start taking a look at this approach because we don't want to get behind on this. We're going to just pull it up here. And we're going to go over some company procedures. Oh, I already had that up. La Aurora. I flew down here one time where the volcano was going off. We had to be like going all over the place because of volcanic ash, and our alternate got wiped out because of volcanic ash. Pretty hairy. All right, arrival. We're not doing that. All we really need to look at is the approach, and we're doing the, what did I say, Yankee? I think I said Zulu. Heard about Cosmos from Lake Fork guy? Oh, nice, Lal. Yeah. ILS says Zulu. Al, I haven't been fishing in quite some time, man. I feel not good. I need to get back out on the water. All right. Here we go. Guatemala City. Number 02, the ILS says runway 02. As you could see here, we've got a nice arc that we have to comply with. So the approach starts over the VOR at 9,000 feet. We're going to go over some company procedures here, which will actually tell us how to configure for this approach. But there's a couple things we need to be very, very careful of on here. There is no circling to the east of 02 and 20. That is obvious because we have some extreme high terrain. We've got 6,800 feet here. We've got like a 13,000 foot mountain over here. Is that the volcano? We've got 8,000 foot here. So this airport sits kind of on a plateau inside of a bowl. So you get best of both worlds. Now, the approach itself requires a turn to final. So we're going to hit the VOR. We're going to track outbound on the 165. And we have to stay within 7 miles of this turn when we turn to final here. Now the airplane should draw it out and it should fly it just fine, but we have to watch our speed. We have to take into account our ground speed. We have to take into account ground speed mini, and we also have to take into account the prevailing winds. Now we get prevailing wind information when you fly down to this part of the country. Like right now, I think it prevails out of the north at about 11 to 12 knots just on a normal day. So that is why 02 is the most commonly used approach. It is not really a circling approach, but it is a teardrop to final with a hard distance limit. And you can see here, can I bring up my zoom? Where's the zoom function? I lost the zoom function. Anyway, you see this little dot in the middle of this triangle? That means the 5DME fix from Aurora VOR is not a fly-by waypoint. It is a fly-over waypoint. So you need to make sure you actually pass the 5DME point before commencing the turn. Now CF02 is flyby, this is flyby, and then eventually you join the localizer. You can see here we're going to be descending out of 9,000 all the way down. You pretty much don't stop descending unless you're ahead of the game when you get down there at Villain at 6,300. But there is a ceiling requirement on this approach. Let's go ahead and just pause this out here for a little bit. So most approaches, contrary to popular belief, there is no ceiling requirement. However, on this approach, the ceiling is required. Normally, visibility is the main thing that we look for, but this approach requires a ceiling. We have to have a ceiling of, where is it out here? Somewhere. Time left on 010, instructions, blah, blah, blah. Transition flight levels 200. Basically, we got to have the ceiling to make the approach. So 5,100 feet. You got to have 5,100 foot ceilings at least. That's required. Note, circling restriction diagram added. CNFs added. Oh, that's just old. So we're going to do 5,100 feet. Obviously, it's going to be good for us today. I think it's pretty much clear skies. 221 is the bottom of the approach. East, not authorized east of runway, so you cannot circle east. You can only circle west. The city of Guatemala is actually off to the east here. You'll see some nice high rises. But that's what we're looking at. That's just kind of our quick overview. Now, do they have the overview charts on here? Reference docs. Yeah, they do. So this is kind of what you're looking at here. There's the runway. It's sloped in both directions, so when you land, it looks extremely short in real life anyway, because the runway is shaped like a bowl. Here you go. This is an actual shot here. Runway 02. That's what it looks like in real life. This is a big plateau at a mountain. There's actually a little waterfall right here coming out. But the runway slopes down, and then it slopes down from the other end. It looks like you're landing in a cereal bowl. A couple of things to note here. These runways are pretty heavily contaminated with rubber from all the airplanes landing on them, and they don't groove them. So when it is wet, the runways are extremely slippery, and that's actually a note that we have in our company procedures. So, but that is kind of an overview for 02, and then of course you have the overview weather charts here. And this gives you a rough thing. And here you go. Here's your prevailing winds. You know, so we're March through May, right? North at 11 knots. Thunderstorms, IMC 22% of the time. Low temp, high temp, annual precip totals. So it gives you a good overview of what to look for, what to expect. But we're not on an actual arrival. We're just on the approach itself, and we're going to set that up as so. So let me pull this back here. We're going to put an altitude restriction in the box. Enter destination data, exactly. So let me go ahead and pull that over here real quick. Back in my day, landing on runways uphill both ways in the snow. Ooh, yeah. Peyton, what's up, man? Just started flight training. Thanks for teaching me something every string. Well, that is awesome, man. Good luck on your training endeavors. That's really good to hear, man. Alright, weather request is sent. We're going to go next phase for descent. We're going to slow it down a little bit. We're going to do 7.9 and 310. We're going to put that there. What was the barometric minimum? Was 221. So we're going to put 221 here on the baro ref. And then the flight plan page at Aurora, this actually is going to We just screwed up already. Let me see here. So we've got company notes saying that you want to cross Aurora at 160 at 9,000. So we are already going to be behind the 8 ball a little bit. 160, and we're going to make it a hard altitude of 9,000. Even though it says at or above, we're going to make it hard. We're going to insert that. That might change our TOD. It should anyway. We brought it in a little bit closer, I think. So we're going to put terrain on ND, number 1. We're also going to set 9,000 in the bottom here. Set 9,000 in the window. We have terrain on. Let's pick up our weather. Let's go back. Go back. Weather data. MGGT 220 at 14. We're going to put that in there. That's a little bit gusty. Okay, that's going to make it interesting. 220 at 14, huh? Few clouds, cumulonimbus, north-northeast, northeast, east-northeast. Temperature 25. And 30.6 is set. 221 in the barrel. We got our weather. We got our perf data set. I'm going to put in Aurora VOR. So I have distance to Aurora, so we can double check that. And I'm also going to hard tune. We're going to go rad nav, and we're going to make Aurora a hard VOR, AUR, so it doesn't auto tune away from me. Another thing we can do as well is we can set the approach course, I'm sorry, the track outbound 165, just as a backup. We'll put 165 here. So if you wanted to double check in Rose VOR mode, when we're tracking outbound, we can dial this up. And in fact, for sim purposes, we're going to hard tune both sides. And I'm going to hard tune 165 on the FO side so he can watch us do this in Rose VOR as well. We'll be able to flip it over and verify that we are tracking the correct radial. Because you cannot be too accurate on this approach. You must be very accurate. All right, so we're approaching TOD. We've got terrain on. We are going to do manual brakes, full reverse, flaps full. And that leads us to our next discussion of density altitude, which we're going to start down here right now. So we're just going to mash it, mock descent. We'll get the seatbelt sign on as we start our descent phase. Are you sure you put that number in the barrel? The airport is like 5,000 feet. What did I do wrong? Oh yeah, thank you, Christian. Whoo, 5,100. That would have been no go. We would be in the dirt. 5,100 on the barrows. Thank you. Yeah, I put the 221, which would have been a DH for a decision height if you were doing it off rad out. Definitely don't want to be using rad out on this approach. Especially with the terrain in there. I mean, you can, but you got to be careful. But yeah, we're using 5,100. Thank you for the full DA, and 5,100 is set there. All right, so now that the airplane is pretty much set up, we're coming down. Let's talk about density altitude, and let's go over some of these company notes here that are highlighted in red and very important to understand when you fly into this airport. All right, so I'm just going to read to you basically our arrival procedures. This is coming from a real airline, real procedures that we use going in there. Same procedures that I use here. The engine's thrusting back. Oh, I love that. Man, it's so hot in my office right now. Jeez, no air yet. Just turned it off for the weekend. Okay, the first and foremost, the most important thing for the arrivals, get this, is engine out, missed approach. Because of the high terrain, we have so much we have to be careful of. We have a special complex procedure for an engine failure during go-around or takeoff. So we're not even going to get into that in the sim. But again, in real life, we're always preparing for the worst, right? And that would be one of the worst case scenarios. In the sim, we just put in what we want to do and fly and land most of the time. But in real life, yeah, if everything goes as well, that's great, but we need to be 100% prepared for when everything goes wrong. That's why the first note talks about engine in-op, go-around procedures, and takeoffs, even under the arrival section. Okay, but after that it says exercise extreme caution using radar vectors. Radar coverage can be spotty. Exercise extreme vigilance diligence when accepting radar vectors, especially off airway. Do not accept visual approach clearances and circle to land clearances. For the approach phase, it is strongly recommended to begin all approaches at the initial approach fix, which is Aurora VOR for us today. Pay close attention to DME limits, winds aloft, and ground speed. And in an all red, advisory, high occurrence of unstable approaches at La Aurora, Guatemala Airport. So this is, there have been people before us that have made some unstable approaches into here. For landing runway 02, select the Aurora VOR transition. Configure flaps 2 prior to Aurora VOR. So we talk about the golden rule, flaps 2, 180, all that. That's going out the window on this approach. That is going out the window on this approach. You will not be stable. You will not be within DME limits if you go that route. So we need to be flaps 2 prior to crossing Aurora VOR. We must cross Aurora VOR at 160 knots and 9,000 feet. Configure to gear down flaps 3 with a max speed of 150 to 160 knots after crossing the Aurora VOR depending on winds. Why would that make a difference? So let's look at the chart here. After crossing this VOR, depending on the winds, 150 to 160 speed. So this is going to be one of those rare airports or rare approaches where we are probably not going to stay at managed speed. We're actually going to use selected speed to keep it exactly where we want it. We don't want the speed dropping down to VFE next. We want to exactly have manual control over everything the airplane is doing. The winds, if they're coming out of the north, which they prevailed to come out of the north during this time, even though today they're at a 220, the winds here can really bump up that ground speed. If you've got a 20-knot tailwind coming down the pipe here at 165, you better be at your slowest practical speed with flaps 2 geared down. 150 maximum probably in that scenario. If you have light winds or maybe even a slight headwind, then you could probably get away with 160. But remember, always try to get away with it, giving yourself the most safety margin. So we're super light today, shouldn't be a problem. We're actually going to strive for 150 knots. Jose Cardona, welcome to Commercial Pilot, sir! Exclamation point, welcome for your new perks on the channel, man. Glad to have you on board. Welcome. All right. Ensure turn inbound between the 5 and 5.5 DME to remain within 7 DME limit. So we have to make sure we do not exceed 7 DME on this turn. Just like driving a car, the faster you're going, the larger your radius of turn is going to be. That's why you want to keep that speed in selected mode, 150 knots, and we want to keep our radius nice and tight. If you're doing 160, or maybe you have ground speed mini active at this point and your VAP is upwards of 160 knots, your ground speed is going to be way too fast to make this turn. So that's another reason why we're keeping selected speed on. Configure to flaps full and manage speed when inbound. So once we intercept the localizer inbound, we will then go to manage speed because we'll let the aircraft and the auto thrust compensate for any strong headwinds and gusty winds. Now, there's nothing saying you can do selected speed all the way down, but our procedure is to activate manage speed only once we are on the inbound leg, because if most likely you're going to have some rendition of ground speed mini, which we never really talked about on this channel, but essentially it adds a buffer to your VAP speed to keep you safe of any wind shears and shifting winds. So we'll go to manage speed once inbound, and we'll go to flaps full when inbound. So we're planning to make this turn flaps 3 gear down at 150 knots selected, turn inbound, intercept. We're going to go flaps full, manage speed. The ILS glide slope may be unusable outside of the final approach fix. That's another note there that's highlighted. So we may pick up a glide slope out here, but we want to verify that we do cross villain at 6,300 on the slope, because if you're getting erroneous glide slope, you want to take action and take over it. Now this is one thing when it's VMC like this. Look at this terrain we're descending into. How awesome is that? But when it's IMC, and I've done this approach when it's socked in IMC, and it can be a little bit hairy because you see the mountains around you sticking through the clouds, and you're just descending into them, and as you're descending into the mountain, you're literally flying at the mountain, and then you go into the clouds. So it's a little bit hairy. So what else can we do to help our situational awareness? Well, we know this 7 DME ring is a pretty big deal, right? So let's go ahead and put a RadNav fixed info page in there. So we're going to go fix info, Aurora VOR, and we're going to put a 7 DME ring around the VOR. So if we look at our plan, we zoom in, you could see here is our turn. And actually, it's interesting to see this. Right now, the airplane shows us going outside of 7 DME. So that's probably because it has us at a different predicted speed here at the Aurora 05. Can I modify that? Let's see what it has. At Aurora 05, it has us estimating 173 knots. Do you see that? Now let's see if we can actually change this. This would be really cool. So I'm going to manually change that to show 150 knots. I'm going to insert that. Now, was that going to change our radius? I think it did. Maybe not. No, so it didn't quite show it yet, but in the real airplane, I think this would actually dial in. Maybe not. I'd have to double check. But either way, just as another situational awareness, we've got that set now to keep us within limits. So we're going to have to really be careful of this, but there's our whole approach. Aurora, boom, outbound, and around we go. So we've got a fixed ring set up for that. We're doing auto brakes off, manual brakes, full reverse. Cool. D Hicks 3406 says, I love the videos. Thank you so much for the $2 dono, man. Appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying the videos. Thank you for stopping by the stream today, guys. Very much appreciative of that. Last minute stream, but I just having too much fun with this Phoenix. So glad everybody's enjoying it. Have I been there in real life already, Vitor? Yes, a handful of times, actually. Multiple times. Where are these advisories from? SOP charts or something else? These advisories are actually from my company chart. So I'm not at liberty to share them publicly, but just know that these are real procedures that we use, and they're pretty common for any airline out there. They're going to have their own company procedures and things to do. So just throwing that out there. I think it will change the radius once you get closer. JFC, yeah, I think it will too. IB, what's up, man? Just want to say good luck. We're all counting on you. Never gets old. Never gets old. Thank you, man. Yep, ground speed meter takes into your account your environment and will increase your indicated automatically on approach if your ground speed is low. Exactly. So if you'll see, if we look at our V app, we can see here in the perf page right here, 132, you might have a ground speed mini of 140, 145, depending on the prevailing winds and the environmentals down there. So just want to keep that in mind. That's why we're going to use selected speed, but let's go ahead and get some landing performance as well. What's our landing weight going to be? We are 128,000 pounds, and we're only going to burn about another 1,000 pounds. Let's just run it at 128. Remember, always give yourself the lesser. Don't try to pad yourself. So MGGT, which is going to say it's good, we'll apply the METAR, and landing weight, we're going to do 128.0. And we're going to use flap full, max reversed, auto thrust on, and look at that, 8,400 feet. The runway is 9,800 feet long. So that's with low auto brakes. So if you do medium brakes, so it comes down to 6,000. But because I don't want to smoke the brakes for the next crew, I'm going to do manual braking. So you're going to see a combination of medium brakes and low. So I expect about have 7,000 foot rollout. But you'd run it on the worst case. If we just want to do low brakes, it's getting a little bit hairy. So good to see that. We got a 5-knot crosswind, 13 knots on the tail. Whew. 2 knots within our limitation here today for Volaris. Oh, we need to set our altimeter 30-6. 30-6 is set, which is 1018. And we'll double check this one here. 1018 is set, and they're not synced. So let me do it myself. 30-6 is set out of 16.3, descending across Aurora VOR. 14-knot tailwind is rough. Yeah, it's going to be a bit spicy. Captain's only approach, that will depend on the airline typically. We have an alternate of I don't even remember going westbound or eastbound somewhere. But we don't need any alternate. Actually, I can tell you. Our alternate is not imported, so we didn't even do that. Oh well. But we do have an alternate. But we're not going to need it. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day here in Central America. 15-1. What did we say we wanted to be at? We wanted to be at flaps 2 prior to Aurora. And we want to cross at 160 at 9,000. So what I will do is we're still 20 miles out. Let's let it keep coming down. I'm going to select speed. And I'm going to manually select 250 knots. I'm going to get ahead of the airplane now. So we could let it manage, but I'm going to do this manually here, just like in real life. I'm going to select 250. I'm also going to come down to the perf page. I'm going to activate and confirm the approach phase. And we need to get some spoid brakes out to help our descent. So here we go. Let me get flight recorder ready to go too. Why is it called Ground Speed Mini? I don't know. It's something Airbus came up with. A little spicy. What could possibly go wrong? Circle to land on our future? Well, you can't circle east. We're within limits, just barely. We're going to do it anyway. But yeah, I'm coming in here. You got the high terrain. Oh, man. At least it's VFR today. Beautiful. Bright, sunny day here. Real time. Real time, real weather. Which peripherals do I recommend for DCS? Well, you definitely need track AR. That's going to be a must. And you need a good side stick. Either go with a Warthog or a Verpal side stick. Now, if you want to just start out something, you know, basic, you can get away with anything like Satec X56. You can get away with any. What's the XP just posted a video there, like the Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS system, get you going. Just depends what you want to get out of it, man. All right, so we're getting ready to level. Let's go ahead and we're starting to pick up some of that turbulence. That's fine. I'm going to select 160 now, about 10 miles from the VOR. Let's keep that speed brake out. Let's write it down. We didn't even talk about density altitude, but density altitude is a big player on this. Short for ground speed minimum. Ah, I've never even thought of that, GNR, but that's very plausible. All right, there's VFE next, minus 10. We'll go ahead and extend flaps 1. Let's start making this wing a little bit bigger. Ah, so it is, Gustavo, there it is. It says, yeah, minimum, changes to minimum. So I guess mini stands for minimum. I've never even heard that. Okay? Yeah, I learned something today. But it makes total sense. All right, so 9,000. I'm going to go ahead and pull for open. Thrust throttle open, descent. We're already at VFE next minus 10, flaps 2. You see I'm just riding this brake down. Need to stay ahead of it here. We're starting to pick up that mount turbulence. All right, we're flaps 2. We want to be 160 when we cross. We're getting ready to go through 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and light them up. We don't have any ATC, so let's go ahead and get all the lights on. Flight attendants prepare for landing. There's the airport. So right here, look at this shot. This is the bowl. You see this? I've flown in here where you can't see anything but this mountain, this mountain, this mountain, this mountain, and the airport's just socked in at minimums. But yeah, it looks cool. That is so cool. All right, speed out star, stow the speed brake. Let's go tiller cam online. All right, let me go back to my JEP here. So after we cross the VOR, we can descend to 7,200 as a minimum. So I'm going to set 7,200 before we turn back inbound. So 7,200 is set blue, 4 miles from the VOR. We're already at flaps 2. Approach phase has already been activated. We're ahead of the game. Exactly what we want. very plausible to get bumped around in here with these winds. Coming in over the mountains, you get those, not rotor waves, but orographical turbulence. I mean, the views are pretty awesome. I think we're just going to have to fly this from up front here. Alright, so we're approaching the VOR. Remember, we need to be flaps 3, gear down before commencing the turn. The turn inbound, so at that 5 DME fix. So I've got my VOR there. I'm going to put the FO into Rose VOR, so he's going to back me up here. Make sure that we do have a proper course intercept on that 165 radial, I believe. Okay, there's the turn. We're just crossing over the VOR now. Let's go ahead and pull for an open descent. Thrust idle, open descent. We're descending down to 7,200 as we come on down. We will start the recording. Thank you, Ginar. Recording is up. It'll be a nice long replay for you guys. You can watch the whole replay when we sign off. Recording is confirmed on. Yes, it is confirmed. All right, we're 1 mile out. We could see here on the FO's ND, we are tracking the proper radial. We are in the right spot. I'm going to go ahead and extend flaps 3 out of sequence. Flaps 3 selected. So all we need now is the gear prior to 5 DME. We can be at 7,200 until crossing inbound, which then we can set 6,300 for Villain. Love this terrain. There's Speed Alt Star. The reason you don't want to be flaps full here is because in an ideal situation, you don't ever really want to be flaps full, config full in level flight if you can help it. So that's why we're going to stay in flaps 3. At about 3.5 miles, I will extend the landing gear to the down position. Here comes 3.5, landing gear down, speed brake armed. If I could arm it, would be great. Speed brake armed. See, the thrust is coming up. All right, we're 160. We can even be less than that. Let's come back to 150. All right, we're 150 knots, flaps 3, gear down. Here, reaching our 5 DME turn. I don't know why she doesn't want to turn early. Okay, why is it not turning? It doesn't want to turn. I'll manually do it. Start the turn. I don't know why it wanted to go out further. Remember, we have a 7 DME limit, so we're intervening. We're at 6 miles. Swing, baby, swing. Oh, should have had the LS button on, too. 6,300 for Villain, too. $6,300 is set in the window. All right, we are inside of our limits. We're going to keep coming down. All right, let's go ahead and begin our descent. Thrust idle, open descent. You can hear those engines really working, even at flaps 3. Let's continue to turn inbound a little bit. At this point, I'm going to arm the approach.
Terrain ahead.
Check.
Pull up.
Oh, no, that wouldn't be going off right now. All right, there's our glide slope star. We'll go flaps full. And we're turning inbound. Now we can switch to manage speed. Speed, glide slope star, loc star. So we've already captured the slope. We made our turn within limits. Here comes the localizer. There's the runway. Now, almost had to take over manually there, but she handled it just fine. All right, loc has been captured, and the glide slope is going to be captured here right about now. Anytime now. All right, go around altitude. If we have to go around, it's going to be 11,000. Oh, come on. 11,000 is set. Glide slope is captured. Here we go. Enjoy the landing. Landing checklist, cabin crew advised, auto thrust speed, ECAM memo, landing all green. Landing checklist is complete. We are manual brakes, full reverse on touchdown. Let's hand fly this sucker, shall we? Autopilot's coming off. We're going to leave the glide slope on. Or, excuse me, the flight director's on. We're going to just follow this one down. Cat 1. 7 knots on the tail. We got to keep an eye on that ground speed. Oh, I'm sorry, that tailwind there. I think our saving grace is that we are super light today.
$1,000.
Stable. Clear to land. Those cities.
100 above.
Beautiful buildings there.
Minimum.
Whoa, there with the balloon.
Sync rate.
Check.
40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
A little bit of a bug there with the terrain. Oh, that actually seemed semi-buttery. Spoilers, reverse green. Manual brakes here now. Let the brakes, or let the thrust bring that airplane down. There's 70 knots. Let's come to idle thrust, idle reverse thrust. Manual brakes, we can go ahead and stow it. I don't know why. It always works when I'm not streaming. But now, there we go. Make the left turn here. And we'll double back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Guatemala City. Clear the runway, and we can reconfigure now. And stop recording. Yeah, buddy. I didn't even see the landing rate. It's whatever Fly Live has. I didn't see what it was. It seemed like it was going to be good. I don't know why we got that sync rate coming in. There was like some weird burble effect happening over the threshold there. But we only got one, so I don't know what that was all about. Alright, we're going to make a right turn here into the ramp. 208. I'll take it. Let's bring this down because I won't be able to see the taxiway lines because it is so bright here. Maybe. There we go. They're painted nicely. Alright, we're going to come all the way over, and let's just take this first one. Now there's trucks over there. We'll come to the right. I'll take this one over here. Take what's this, gate 15. Chris Stupper, I'm going to leave him disarmed, man. Thanks. These lead-in lines are so dumb. We're just going to go straight in here. That seems about right. Right about there. That's pretty much right on it. Oh, look at that shot. Yep. Can't see the line, so we're going to go to A320 is the second line, it looks like. Nope, this is it for the day. No turn. All right, brake is set. Let's go ahead and disconnect. We're not going to shut down. We're just going to go ahead and do a thing here. Let's do a replay right out of that because I want to see that. So straight into replay mode. We're not shutting down. I'm going to put this into replay cam. That's good. And there's nothing else to change. The lights are on. We need to reconfigure. So we're going to go flaps full. And then we'll go right into the replay. Before the collapse of the airline where I was doing my training, there was some gossip about sim instructors failing some old captains because flap 3 and some over medium load that the 320 is not being able to maintain level flight of single engine. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that's we've got that in our books. It's like we do not want to be flaps config full single engine. Period out. All right, take a look at this. We'll let it load in here. Oh yeah, we won't watch the full one because I'm going to do the full one. You guys will be able to see the entire full replay on the last one. Let's go ahead and watch the turn right here. We'll resume it here. Look at that flap shake, baby. Yes, love it. What's the time? 2:30. Oh, we're looking good on time. Just enough time to go home, take a quick little nap maybe, then head to the airport for real flying. Thank you, E-Boss, for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, RC Flyer. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. Oh, look at that turn right there. We won't get sail going just yet. We'll watch this replay from the wing view. We'll watch 2 touchdowns from the external view, and then I'm going to rewind it all the way back, and you guys can watch the whole approach with sail. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at the little lake down there. Hit the like button for that if you haven't already. Come on, hit the like button for that lake. I want to go fishing right there. Somebody know what lake that is? That is a beautiful, beautiful country right here. Take a nap. You spend too much time with tea vodka. Christian, I'm going to be up until 7 a.m. tomorrow. So I got about, let's see, it's 7 to 7, 12. I got another 18 hours at minimum of staying awake I need to do. Alright, that looked fun. Gonna get to the airport and try this route? Chris, well, you're gonna love it, man. Look at this. Look at this mountain right here. That's why I picked this airport up. I don't know if I've ever done Guatemala on stream, but when we were talking about this South America tour, Central America, I was like, how have I not ever talked about this approach into Guatemala? It is very much a lowy type approach or a Calvi, or you are descending into a arriving terrain, but it's it may not be as hairy as some of those, but it is a hell of a beautiful approach to fly. And if the wind and weather is right at limits, it's even more crazy. Pilot boy, take it easy, man. The scenery is from Sim Market. I just got it off the marketplace for MGGT. I forget who does it. I don't want to say the wrong name. Dilbert, this is the deluxe version, but this is a payware airport, so from the marketplace. This is looking good here. So I don't know what's going on with like the glide slope. I mean, I feel like you follow it down, then out of nowhere the glide slope just runs away from you, or then you get the sync rate. I don't know. Yeah, Calvi circle, yeah. That big volcano is erupting according to flight radar? Oof. Sierra Sim. Thank you, Chris Duper. Yeah, this is the Sierra Sim, Guatemala City. And it's a great airport. You can reach it from, it's not a long flight from southern United States or from anywhere in northern South America. So it's kind of a neat little airport that's tucked away there that I don't even know if I've seen anybody fly in here recently. Yeah, the glide slope that run away at the end, I don't know what that's all about. You can't see it here, unfortunately. All right, let's just see what the passenger saw, and then we'll do an outside touchdown view. See how fast we are? That's that density altitude. Oh, that did not seem like a 208. That seemed pretty good from the inside view anyway. pause it. Let's rewind it. Let's watch it from outside. Resume. Thank you, Christian. Yeah, it reminds you of Tom Cotton, exactly. Definitely some burble effect there, just some wind effect. You don't want to flare very much here because 208? That looked freaking textbook. That looked pretty textbook to me. That looked pretty textbook to me. Let's do one more. Let's watch it from up front here. See, you don't get very much of a flare here with this high density altitude. You really got to get that nose up and hold it. Oh, yeah. See all the rubber? See how dark those look? They even modeled that. See all the rubber on the runway? That's what makes this runway very, very slick when wet. Thank you, Shaq. Glad you enjoyed it, man. All right, y'all. Here we go.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
I'm going to leave you folks with this one. Thank you so much, everybody who stopped in today. Hit the like button for me on the way out, if you would, please. I do appreciate you. I'm headed to the airport here in the next couple hours. We're going to do some real flying. But I hope you enjoyed today's stream. Thank you, Jeremy Harvey, for the music. Again, as always, it's absolutely stunning. Hope you enjoyed these stunning views. And we will be back live on Tuesday for some more challenging approaches in Central America as we make our way down to South America. So, until then, I'm V1. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday. See ya!